Back again. Husband in Pursuit. Day 3. An Experiment in Antiquity. Ephesians 5:15 through 17 tells us, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is." One of our biggest tension points in our households is our phones. If I'm not careful with my usage, my wife feels like she's constantly battling for my attention. Even if I've turned off all notifications to alleviate the problem, I still find myself checking email and texts incessantly. In many ways, my phone is a lifeline because it allows me to monitor and respond to work-related tasks and ultimately earn an income. But that's no excuse. She usually vocalizes her frustration if I'm distracted when she's trying to talk to me. Depending on the timing and my blood sugar level, I can get defensive and suddenly we're arguing. In my defense, I'm not the sole offender. Our roles are often reversed. You know how it is, and you can probably empathize. So much of our lives revolve around the internet. It's a useful tool, but like any tool, it can be misused. When it is, it invades our most precious moments and contaminates sacred time together as a family. Because of our propensity to be drawn to our devices, we've had to create clear, immovable boundaries. Whenever we're on a date, we leave all technology in the car. Dinner time is totally unplugged so we can engage in meaningful conversation with each other and our kids. Mornings are reserved for time with God and breakfast with each other. Only after we've all connected can I grab my phone and dive into work. There's a reason Paul instructed the Ephesian church in today's verse to make the best use of the time by reminding them to not be foolish and to understand the will of God. They experienced the same propensity for distraction that we feel today. Distraction is a human problem, not a technology problem. For the Ephesians, we can see what was going on by reading the surrounding context in the first half of chapter 5. Paul warned them against sexual immorality, covetousness, foolish talk, and crude joking. But Paul's instruction wasn't just about telling them what not to do. It was about urging them toward the right pursuit. Other translations, like the King James Version, use the phrase redeeming the time instead of making the best use of the time. The Greek words behind that phrase can literally be translated as buying up for yourselves the opportunity. The opportunity for what exactly? To be wise, to learn the will of God and pursue it. And as it says a few verses later, to build each other up with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, and sing to the Lord with your heart. Paul had a rightful sense of urgency. Life is short and the gospel is huge. There is much work to be done for the glory of God, but as humans, we tend to drift toward foolish, idle talk, toward distraction, when so much is at stake. Paul's words weren't instructions to work for salvation, but rather an encouragement to live in full light of the gospel they had received. Paul's instructions have direct implications for our marriages. We are called to steward our moments wisely and caution our hearts against meaningless, fruitless distractions. We're called to speak intentionally, not foolishly or with crude talk. Finally, we're called to lead our families to do the same. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. What will you celebrate more? Checking your phone as much as you do, or spending quality moments with your bride? Heed Paul's wisdom. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time.